If, on the other hand, we're given tax credits, we've set up an exchange, you are now part of a big pool, we've driven down the costs, we've done everything we can, and you actually can afford health insurance, but you just decided, you know what, I want to take my chances. And then you get hit by a bus, and you and I have to pay for the emergency room care.
That may be, but it's still a tax increase.
That's not true, George. For us to say that you've got to take a responsibility to get health insurance is absolutely not a tax increase. What it's saying is that we're not going to have other people carrying your burdens for you.
It may be fair, it may be good public policy.
No, but George, you can't just make up that language and decide that that's called a tax increase.
I don't think I'm making it up. Merriam-Webster's dictionary. Tax, a charge usually of money imposed by authority on persons or property for public purposes.
George, the fact that you looked up Merriam's dictionary, the definition of tax increase, indicates to me that you're stretching a little bit. Right? Look, we can have a legitimate debate about whether or not we're going to have an individual mandate or not. But
you reject that it's a tax increase?
I absolutely reject that notion.
The health care bill that everyone has been talking about is one of the most contentious topics floating around the news right now. Expanding the public health care sector, it provides health insurance to almost all people so that they don't have to take out loans. As one can imagine, the bill requires funding from the government along with increased taxes. Because the bill is so large, however, many people don't understand it fully. The individual mandate in the bill, the requirement that everyone must purchase health insurance or be faced with a fine, is one of the most debated topics in the entire bill, and therefore is worth examining. In a sense, it is a tax of $695 per year for those who don't purchase health insurance. To understand this reform completely, one can compare it to the law requiring drivers to carry car insurance. With this law, everyone must carry proof of insurance or face a small fine, most of the time between $10 and $20. If someone drives without coverage, he or she can face a fine of up to $500. With both the car and health insurance reforms, most people will be required to have insurance or face a form of tax.
Hello, this is your Channel 7 News team at 1:30 with your weekly economic update. I'm John Nadel.
I'm Greg Hayes.
I'm Tim Griffith.
J.D. Schmergy.
Today we'll be addressing the recent healthcare reform, specifically the individual mandate. We'll start with J.D. discussing the advantages of this mandate.
So the bill as it stands today has several advantages that make it better than what we used to have in place. First, the majority of those people who are currently uninsured will be insured. Next, it would eliminate some of the need for employers to provide insurance, and it would also prevent many inefficiencies and inequities. One of these inefficiencies is job lock. Job lock is a phenomenon in which employees have accumulated a significant pay or benefit so that changing jobs would be detrimental. Lastly, premiums in the non-group insurance market will fall because healthier people will be putting money in and not taking out.
Thanks, JD. Next, we'll hand it over to Greg, who will discuss the disadvantages of the mandate.
So, despite the numerous advantages that JD discussed earlier, there is one large problem. The bill would require government to raise an enormous sum of money. Many methods to raising this money have been discussed, like raising taxes for businesses and wealthier families. But the point is that this large-scale spending will put an unnecessary strain on the economy that is already in debt in the first place.
Although there's been plenty of talk of different alternatives, the auto-enrollment and late enrollment penalty plans seem to capture most of the public's attention. Under the auto-enrollment plan, individuals would be automatically enrolled in insurance as a default, but would have the option to opt out if they decided they did not want the coverage. This means that individuals will only have to take action if they don't want coverage. The auto-enrollment plan would hope to increase the amount of individuals covered based on research which shows the unawareness of citizens may affect the amount they decide to opt out. Problems begin with employers who are worried that the auto-enrollment plan will lead to higher spending even though healthier employees are joining the company. Also, any premiums paid that citizens don't wish to pay are gone forever, leading people to opt out more frequently. The last problem with this plan deals with dependents. There's a worry that this plan won't make a significant dent in the number of uninsured unless it extends to dependents to current employees. This is because dependents make up over half of the uninsured. Now back to NATO to discuss the late enrollment penalty plan.
Thanks, Tim. In the late enrollment penalty plan, the individual mandate is to allow voluntary opt-in to insurance under the Affordable Care Act, would then impose a penalty for late enrollment. Again, this would most likely decrease the number of uninsured, but since it's voluntary to opt-in, it is difficult to estimate how much it would decrease. Seniors or those with pre-existing conditions will likely be the only group who will opt in at high rates, while everyone else without incentive to opt in will only do so at lower rates. The effectiveness of late enrollment penalties plan depends on the government's willingness to fully enforce the penalties and the penalties' severity. The heavier the penalties and enforcement of these penalties, the earlier people will be willing to opt in.
Go.
Hello, I'm here with Michael Talby, and I'm interviewing him on alternatives to the healthcare reform. So, Talby, in general, do you consider yourself a healthy person?
Yes, John, I do.
Alright. Would you rather be auto-enrolled in the healthcare plan, or would you rather opt in knowing that there's a penalty for late enrollment?
I would probably say I'd rather opt in because I would rather hold off being enrolled. I know I'm not going to have any health problems coming up, so why would I want to be auto-enrolled?
Yeah. Would your answer be the same if you could opt out after being auto-enrolled?
I would say in that case I'd rather be auto-enrolled. I'm pretty attentive to my insurance policy, so in that case I'd have to say so.
Alright, well, you heard it here.
2, 1.
So the question now is, what's the best policy? In our estimation, the new health care bill that was recently passed with the individual mandate is the best policy. It will lead to the largest decrease in the uninsured. It will lead to the lowest premiums. It will lower the need for employer-based insurance and will cure up some of the other inefficiencies. Along with the previously mentioned advantages, the new health care bill will decrease a problem of adverse selection. Under the old system, many healthy people chose not to purchase health insurance, and with this new individual mandate, everyone's forced to purchase this health insurance, thus diminishing this problem. Now, looking at the alternatives, both alternatives will ultimately lead to fewer people being uninsured, but not of the magnitude of the current healthcare reform. Neither alternative, furthermore, saves a whole lot of money, and premiums may increase because healthier people can opt out or delay enrollment. In general, the choice seems pretty clear to us.
In conclusion, the health care bill is one of the most contentious bills in history. The individual mandate has been the center of this debate, and it will be interesting to see what the government decides to do in response. Thanks for tuning in to Channel 7 News. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. Thanks, Greg. Now Tim and I will discuss the alternatives to the mandate. Tim will begin with the auto-enrollment plan.
Thanks, John. Although there's been plenty of talk about the different alternatives to the health care...
That's in the video, huh?
Oh no, this is recording.
Shit. I gotta get it out of me. 1 minute. Alright, go.
It already is.
That's in the video, huh?
Oh no, this is recording.
You just gotta bite the bullet.
There is a worry that this plan won't make a significant number of uninsured unless it extends to dependents.
Two
current employees. That's what didn't really make sense to me. Two
Dependents.
dependents, 2 current employees.
Unless it extends to dependents of, or dependents to, yeah, that's fine.
Dependents to current employees. Okay,
You want
I
me
got
to
it. Don't
change
worry. No, don't worry.
That's in the video, huh?
Oh no, this is recording.
In conclusion, the health care bill is one of the most contentious bills in history. The individual mandate has been the center of this debate, and it will be Hello, I'm here with Mike. That's in the video, huh?
Oh no, this is recording.
In conclusion, the health care bill is one of the most contentious bills in history. The individual mandate has been the center of this debate, and it will be interesting to see what government decides to do in response. Thanks for tuning in to Channel 7 News.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.